Hey family, I want to read you scripture real quick. Ezekiel 8. On the 5th day of the 6th month of the 6th year, I was sitting in my house, and the leaders of Yehuda were sitting there with me. The hand of Adonai Elohim fell on me. I looked and saw what seemed like a man on fire. From what appeared to be his waist downward was fire, and from his waist upward was what appeared to be a gleaming amber-colored brilliance. The form of a hand was put out. And we've been over that man on fire as Yeshua, and took me by a lock of my hair, and the Spirit lifted me up between earth and heaven and brought me. In these visions from God to Jerusalem, to the entrance of the inner courtyard gate that faces north. There stood the idol that arouses God's jealousy and provokes his zealous indignation. There before me was the glory of the God of Israel, as in the vision I had seen in the valley. And I just want to point out, when Father sends judgment, he sends it from the north. So when you're doing your studies and you come across the north, start paying attention to the north. There's a good reason for that, and it probably has some parallels with the northern tribes, but he sends judgment from the north, and here he's taken Ezekiel to the north gate to show him all these abominations. Then he said to me, "Human being, raise your eyes towards the north." I raised my eyes towards the north and saw north of the altar gate this image that arouses God's jealousy in the entryway. He asked me, "Human being, do you see what they are doing? The horribly disgusting practices that the house of Israel is committing here, so that I must distance myself from my own sanctuary. But you will see even worse abominations." He brought me to the entrance of the courtyard, and when I looked and saw a hole in the wall, he said to me, "Human being, dig into the wall." After digging in the wall, I saw a door. "Go in," he said, "and see the wicked practices they are engaging in here." So I went and looked, and there carved on the walls all around were every kind of reptile and repulsive animal, along with all the idols of the house of Israel. So I guess they's carving these things on the walls. And you can see that rock in the picture. Okay, so let me read that again. And there carved on the walls all around were every kind of reptile and repulsive animal, along with all the idols of the house of Israel. So, you don't have to just go up to your wall and start carving these pictures. You just buy stuff at Walmart with the pagan stuff on it and bring it in your house, and you're doing the same thing. Okay? So, yeah. Standing in front of them were 70 of the leading men of the house of Israel. In the center stood Yaazaniah, the son of Shaphan. Each man had his incense burner in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then he said to me, "Human being, did you see what the leaders of the house of Israel are doing in the dark? Each one in the room of his own carved image, because they say, 'Adonai can't see us. Adonai has left the land.'" Each one with their own carved image. He also said to me, "You will see even worse abominations that they are doing." He brought me to the entrance of the north gate to Adonai's house. North gate, over and over. And there before me were women weeping for Tammuz. "Human being," he asked me, "have you seen this? You will see practices even more disgusting than these." I don't know how it can get more disgusting, but it can. He brought me into the inner courtyard of Adonai's house. And there at the entrance to the temple of Adonai, between the porch and altar, there were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of Adonai. Their backs towards the temple of Adonai. and their faces toward the east, and they were worshiping the sun toward the east. So, the sun worship is Tammuz, and that goes with Christmas. I mean, the pagans mixed all their religions intertwined, right? It's you got all kinds of stuff going on in these religions, and that's the problem. Is they've been mixed in Christianity as well, and that's what we've been going over about Ephraim in the pagan traditions of men that teach in the pulpits. He asked me, human being, have you seen this? Does the house of Yehuda consider it a casual matter that they commit the disgusting practices they are committing here? And this is particular saying Yehuda, and this is the 17th verse, and that goes along with the article I'm going to read you here in a second. Thus filling the land with violence, provoking me still more. Look, they are even putting the branch to their nose, so they got their incense sniffing it. Yeah. Therefore I will act in fury, my eye will not spare, I will have no pity. Even if they cry loudly right into my ears, I will not listen to them. And as I've shared several times, chapter 9 goes into the seal of Yah, New Jerusalem, and the Lord Yeshua on our foreheads. So, but I'm not going to read that out. I'm just going to read this article to you guys. I just want to be, thorough when I'm talking about things. I really am not interested in this bit, but we need to understand, some things about what is going on. Because the scriptures don't give us a whole lot of detail, so we got to look into it if we want to know. Okay, that's what that is, and let's stay away from that. Nehemiah's wall. Nehemiah Gordon. This article was written June 24th, 2022. Okay, so it's called "Don't Call It Tammuz." And you can see the rock. It's got the carved image, and that could have been on a wall. It could anything. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. Most modern Jews refer to the fourth Hebrew month as Tammuz, the name of a pagan fertility deity mentioned in the book of Ezekiel. The prophet Ezekiel described a vision in which an angel brought him to the temple in Jerusalem. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of Yehovah's house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. In the 19th century, archaeologists began to uncover archaeological remains that shed light on the ancient pagan religion that led the Israelites astray. Today we know the women were weeping over Tammuz because he was a fertility little g god who represented the life cycle of wheat. So here we go, same stuff, different holiday, because the bunnies and Ishtar and all that's fertility too, and stuff. Gross. Who represented the life cycle of wheat. So here we got wheat and a month called Tammuz. In Israel, wheat becomes ripe in early summer when the wheat plant dies. It becomes ripe in early summer when the wheat plant dies, leaving behind a viable seed that can be planted next year. The winter rains provide moisture, causing the new wheat crop to rise out of the ground. Okay. Unlike in Europe and North America, the summer in Israel is characterized by a dry period with no rain in which everything green dies, and the winter is characterized by rain with abundant growth and life. So it's the complete opposite over in the Holy Land that it is here. See, this stuff's good to know. How else would we know? I've never been to Israel. I really don't know how it works. I just know that, the barley harvest is ready at the first of Aviv, and that would commence the first month leading to Pesach. The ancient pagans believed that this agricultural cycle of summer death and winter rebirth was a shadow picture of the life of Tammuz. The little G god Tammuz died in early summer. He died in early summer, leaving behind the life giving food that sustained the world. Then he was resurrected in the winter, beginning the cycle again. I don't know who this guy is, and if it's just, I don't know, but it's gross. And sorry, I'm just thinking, I don't know if this originated from a man and they thought he was, I don't know. I don't care. Let's just go with this. And so we understand. We need to know this part. Tammuz is often thought to be a Babylonian fertility little g god. However, a stone monument discovered at Arad in southern Israel may be the earliest representation of the Canaanite Tammuz, the Arad Stela, dating to the early Bronze Age. Bronze Age. That's interesting. I didn't know. I guess that goes with the statue. The Bronze Age. The statue of Nebuchadnezzar shows a personified grain deity standing and lying down. Archaeologists have suggested that this represents the death and resurrection of Tammuz. Later, Israelites in the time of Ezekiel adopted this pagan belief. The women were weeping over Tammuz because of his tragic death, which brought life to the world. Today, echoes of the worship of Tammuz survive in Jewish tradition. There's that word tradition. We know to stay away from all tradition, don't we? And customs that are not Yeshua's customs. The name Tammuz itself only appears in the Bible in reference to this pagan deity. However, Jewish tradition adopted the name Tammuz for the fourth Hebrew month. Over the centuries, the pagan origins of the month of Tammuz were forgotten, only to be rediscovered in modern times. Jewish tradition considers Tammuz to be a month of mourning, and rabbinical Jews even observe a fast on the 17th day of the month. The 17th day of the first month. This is, the fourth month. I had my mind set on Pesach. Okay, so the 17th day of the fourth month, and the fourth month is right around Shabbat, when the wheat first wave offerings made. If my math is right on that, April, May, June, July. Yeah, a lot of times Shabbat falls right there in the fourth month. It's the time of the week. And that's Yeshua's number in the fourth month, the dial at the door. Oh my goodness. Okay, so they also refrain from listening to music and other joyous acts from the 17th to the end of the month. The origins of these mourning practices have become obscured over time, and today tradition associates them with the destruction of the temple. Little do they know that mourning during the month of Tammuz began long before the destruction of the destruction of the temple with the mourning over the death of Tammuz. And I just read in scripture how it says, "Does the house of Yehuda consider it a casual matter that they commit the disgusting practices they are committing here, thus filling the land with violence, provoking me still more?" So, guys, let's not talk. I don't know what to do about that. Just we know the first month is Aviv, and we'll just call it month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6, right? And the 7th month, is going into trumpets. So just call them by their number, and don't even associate the Tammuz stuff anymore. And that's what we do, and we know it's attached to Christmas and all that stuff too. So it's the Christians also. It's not just Judah. However, we see why this month is named Tammuz, and how Judah's the one that did the naming of the month. It's just mixed up in everything, and in the Judaism and in the Christianity, it's mixed up. So we got to stay in the middle and be praying, that Father keep us there. All right, guys, I just wanted to share that with you. I hope it edified you in some way, with the scriptures. So we got more of an understanding on what's going on. That's it for right now. Shalom, guys. Talk soon.